couldn't drive. And you said, well, you need a driver's license, first. And he said he was going to work on that. What bothers me is that his father wanted him to drive him around Chicago, New York, Florida to visit his brothers and sisters. And Ted was in the military at the time, but he went ahead and did it and drove your grandfather around to visit his brothers and sisters. That is something that he and his father did. Oh, golly.
You say he recorded multiple people at his home. Mitchell Wasek is accused of secretly recording guests at his family's home in Spicewood and at his home in Dallas. Documents said the videos showed individuals were recorded using the bathroom, taking a shower, changing clothes, or even having sex. Videos dated back to 2021. Deputies say they obtained his Amazon purchase history, which included the purchase of several hidden camera devices. Right now on Capitol Hill, as lawmakers scramble to find a new House Speaker, some are floating the idea of nominating former President Donald Trump. But do Trump's indictments make him ineligible for the job under House rules? Our National Verify reporter Casey Decker has the answer.
He doesn't actually have to be an elected member of the House, just be chosen by a majority of the representatives. But some people have claimed that the House's own rules would bar Trump from taking the position because he's been indicted. So let's verify. Is it against House rules for someone under indictment to be Speaker? Our sources, the House Ethics Committee, the House Rulebook, the House GOP Conference Rules, and the Congressional Research Service. Rule 13, Section 10B of the current House rules say, quote, a member who has been indicted for a felony for which a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment may be imposed should resign from any committees and should step aside from any party caucus or conference leadership position. Trump's 4 indictments contain numerous felony charges that carry sentences of 2 years or longer, and the Speaker is certainly a leadership position. House Republicans also have an almost identical rule for their own conference, Rule 26. So we can verify, yes, it is against House rules for someone under indictment to be Speaker. However, House rules are not laws. They don't come with the weight of a court. They're self-enforced. Violations of House rules can be investigated by the Ethics Committee, but that committee doesn't have much power beyond issuing warning letters and sometimes fines. Anything stronger has to be voted on by the full House, but those options are also limited. With a majority, the House can formally reprimand or censure a member, or with a 2/3 supermajority, expel them. But of course, if a majority of representatives vote to install Trump as Speaker in the first place, they're unlikely to turn around and vote to expel him for violating the rule. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
The San Antonio International Airport is adding a 3rd destination in Mexico. The new city is Santiago de Querétaro. Flights will...
What was I saying? Yeah, so, I'm trying hard not to get irritated or put out or angry or for someone to not be classified as a bona fide parent. Most people don't know how to be parents. They don't know how to encourage their children and always saying the wrong thing. The weatherman, what does he have to say? No, give me a break.
Now this one's going to come through dry. So this first one, the rainfall, and we're going to take a look at all the totals tonight. This second one is going to be the winds and the
as parents, me and Daddy should have this parent meeting to say, We want our kids to go to college, or we want our kids to join the military, or we want our kids to just, get job training and get a job. That's about three things. Go to college, job training, get a job, and what? I forgot the third one. Do something constructive with your life. And as parents, we should do that. We should, he and I should come together, sit down. This is what we're going to inspire Theodora and Joshua to do. They either go to college or get job training to get a job and go to church. Be good citizens. Not this, I want you to help me drive to Georgia. Or take my place when I was driving my father around to all his brothers and sisters. Now I want you to drive me around. And I don't think that is a description for my daughter. God put you on this earth so you can drive your daddy up and down the road to see all his other relatives. God ain't never told me that. I ain't never asked God to do that. So, when he comes to say this, I want you to help me drive, you should say, this is what I want to do with my life. I want driving education. I want my driver's license. I want, I ain't seen him in a long time. What did he say? I got a life to live, and this is what I want to do with my life. I want to get married and have 15 babies, or go out into space like an astronaut. And I don't have the desire to want to drive you up and down Interstate 35 to go see your kinfolk. He only says this when he's out of town. Like he's probably really tired. He stopped early tonight, found a motel room, sit down, ate dinner somewhere, and call home and say, I made it safe and sound. I think he said he was in Florida. But he went to celebrate Bong's Academy reunion and to get some information about Teddy's, what is that? I always can't remember to say. Autopsy report. That's what he went for. Not to come back home and start telling you he wants you to help him drive. Because if he can't drive, then he needs to fly, get on a bus, a train. There are 2-3 ways that he can travel if he wants to. But our kids are not, what's the word? Our kids are not, what's the word? Haven't been, what's the word there?
I don't know the word.
You haven't been, this is what we have kids for, so they can drive us around the United States to family reunions and stuff. This is not what we have kids for. And so I have to spell that out to him. This is not what I had kids for. So you can pressure them into driving you around to meet all your kinfolk. God knows they're all over the United States. A chauffeur. So I want you to practice telling him, no, Daddy, I don't want to volunteer and be a chauffeur for you and drive you here and there. That's what you did with your daddy. That's not what I want to do for you. I want my own life.
My own.
And you have to practice, and you have to be confident about this. And what I see of you, your health is in a bad setup. You got a headache. You're dizzy all the time. We don't get to exercise like you're not eating right. You have to take medication to help you sleep. Those things, your health is more important than driving him here and there. You're not a chauffeur. Now, if you want to be a chauffeur, that's up to you.
No.
But I think you need to get your life on course. And if you have extra time, vacation time, and you want to drive him back and forth to San Antonio, to Georgia, to New York, Florida, Chicago, and all, that would be up to you. But we haven't, he and I has not discussed that. And it just pops up. Just when he's out of town, he just pops up. I want you to help me drive. Well, you may want it, but it's not gonna wait. It's not gonna go that way. So you and Joshua, y'all got to get busy with your lives. So you can tell him, no, Dad, I don't have time to drive you around. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to a job training. I gotta do you hear what I'm saying?
I hear you. Just thinking about how to do it and asking God why and how I haven't done it yet. I'm still like this.
What?
Well, I'm asking God how and why am I still in this situation?
What situation?
Dad wanted me to drive him around and I don't even have a license.
He's just pushing this thing. It's coming out of his mouth. He's just pushing it. And that's the only reason why I feel like he's pushing it is because that's the way he was raised. And as far as he's concerned, that's what he's supposed to expect out of you and Joshua.
Yeah,
you know, it's if you was raised to be a rabbit or a rooster or whatever, and that's what your parents teach you, and that's what you expect to do. You're not expected to drive him and help him drive to these different places. And we just came off of the road. We went to the funeral for Teddy. We just came off the road. And the next week, he's thinking about going to the Box Academy reunion. Now, if he wants to run up and down the road, that's his business.
Yeah.
But that is not what you want to do, and you need to tell him, Daddy, I just got off the road. We just got off the road coming from Augusta. And I do not even want to think about turning around and going back down that road again. So you have to say, Daddy, I do not want to even think about riding some more. I only went because it was like an emergency like situation. Mama felt like we should go with you to give you support burying your son. And if we could have gotten Aunt Bell to come over here, we would have went then. But no, sir, I do not want to go. I do not have that in my mind. And when we just roll up in the driveway, and then you think about going back down the road, no, sir. You can go by yourself, but I'm not going. You got to say those things to him. Because if you don't, he's going to constantly say, well, I want you to come help me drive. Well, I want you to come help me drive. Well, I want you to come help. You said, no. You may want it, but I ain't doing it. I'm very nervous. I don't even like even riding in the van. I only go when it's doggone necessary, like a funeral to your son. Anybody else, don't bother me. I got other things I need to do with my time. And number one is I need to see about my health. I can't sleep. I'm overweight. My nerves are shot. I'm waiting to go see Dr. Oh my God. I called her. They didn't call me back. Dr. Braun. No, sir. I cannot be. Stop harassing me about driving you. Because I don't have it. I know. I don't even want to think about it. You have to hire somebody else or hop on a plane, on a bus, or stay home. And I was wondering, what were you saying? Because he said, Theodore said, she didn't want me to go nowhere, and she wanted me to stay home, and she didn't want me to, and I was going, what? Good for her. But what?
Good for me? Good for me?
Yeah. At least you told him that much. But he tried to twist it and say, well, she don't want to go nowhere because you are always scared of going over bridges. So, if I'm scared, I'm scared. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If you want to go riding over bridges, then that's what you do. But I'm not going to be riding over those bridges too many more times. If he wants to be with his kinfolks that much, then he just needs to pack his bags up and go. Why don't he can switch this thing around and come visit us every once in a long time, every once in a blue moon, and go back to Georgia and be around his people. And let them come help him drive up to San Antonio and drive him back. What do you think about that?
I would say I want the situation to be over.
You just want the situation to be over?
Yeah, I'm wondering why don't I have my life together? Why don't I have my life together yet? Like, why are my nerves shot and why can't I sleep? And why can't I just fix that myself? I guess I can't really word the question. I feel like it would be loaded if I could word it.
Mama, I have tried to tell you how I feel about it. And sometimes it's hard to express yourself, you know? That's why I say practice. Practice. Like I'm trying to get you to practice going to sleep, taking your sleepy medicine at dinner time, and then take it again before you go to bed. You practice every day. So when you practice your sleeping habits, you also need to practice what to say. What's those people? Conflict? What's those people name?
Toxic people.
Toxic people. Most people are toxic because they don't pay attention to what Jesus said, and they let the devil put thoughts in their minds, and they accept it. Oh yeah, that's a good thought. No, it's not. Like I say, as parents, me and him should sit down and discuss how we want to raise our children and what we expect out of our children. We want you to be educated. We want you to have job training. We want you to study the Bible. We want you to take care of your health. That's what I want. I'm not raising you to be a rabbit or a kangaroo. Overheating. Oh, I got to listen to this idiot.
112 degrees, according to the Wall Street Journal. Apple now says it has a fix to deal with the overheating issue.
We here at Apple have heard your concerns
Oh.
about.
You can't have a conversation if you're going to listen to TV too. And I think this is a good opportunity. This is a good time to discuss this with you and with Joshua, so y'all can practice. And when Daddy comes up with these ideas, you can answer him. He likes to catch people off guard. Oh, how about doing this? And you go, what? I ain't even thinking like that. So, living with someone that is already, what's the word?
Toxic.
Toxic. Toxic. You have to be ready with your toxic response. No, Daddy, that is not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And then you tell him, yada, 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 yada. I would like to go to college, but my nerves are so shot right there, I don't think I can take college. And other toxic people. So would you help me calm my nerves down and stop bringing up going out of town and driving you to do, because that don't calm me down at all. That gets me more nervous. So give me a year or two of not talking to me about going to Georgia, helping you drive. Give me a year. And so I can sleep, get my sleep down, and exercise, lose my weight, go to college. And I don't ever want to drive you to Georgia. That's kind of strong, but it is what it is. I don't live in Georgia. I can barely talk to people in Georgia. We ain't got nothing in common except for you. I always try to have it in the back of my mind to ask him, why did you ask me to marry you in the first place? What did you have in your mind? Did you think I was going to pack my bags and go live with you in Augusta with your kinfolk? Did you have that in mind? Because I could have told you then, I am not going to live there. In fact, I did. When he got through with the military, and his father was still alive, and I said, okay, see you later. And he said, well, I want you to come with us. No, I'm not going to Georgia. I'm not going to live in Georgia. I'm not going to have your sisters running in my house telling me how to cook. I'm already grown. I got my own job, my own car, and my own apartment. Bye. See ya. And he couldn't take a message. He could not follow that message. He kept thinking in mind, she's going to go to Georgia with me. I said, no, 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 no. I almost had to make a son out of it. I couldn't do that rapping stuff. If I could, I would have. And he just constantly called me up long distance. I want you to come to Georgia. And I kept saying, I'm not moving to Georgia. My mother is here, man. And this is where I want to be. I do not want to live with you and your sisters. All 6 of your sisters. So I know when you tell somebody straight out of your mouth and don't have any bumps or questions or that he can pick at, he's still. So he don't stop asking me to go to Georgia with him. Now he's starting on you. I want you to come help me drive. No, you don't want me to come help you drive. I'll drive you off in Louisiana swamp somewhere. No, that's not me, Daddy. That's bad. That's bad for me. Don't do that. Don't expect that out of me. Okay? And he got what's his name? Gilchrist. With some kind of big kind of truck thing he got. Well, Gilchrist got his job. He's in Atlanta aquarium. He ain't about to be driving Ted all up and down the road like a lost rabbit. I don't know why he keeps trying to live that life of his father, and his father is dead and gone. He needs to find another lifestyle. And he has another lifestyle. No, he keeps going back to his, I don't know what you call that. But Dr. Braun, she says, there's not too many, she told me and Ted, Joshua, most military guys have PTSD. They keep going back in their minds, and you can't hardly get them out of it. They keep going back in their minds when they was in the war or in Vietnam or so. Doc. Yeah. You need to write down what you're gonna talk to Dr. Braun about, and I had told you to get ready to tell her or ask her how to deal with a military PTSD, I want to say crackpot. How do you deal with that? What's the people called? Toxic people. How do you deal with that? When you were in Eastern Hills and you were so busy having a problem with the girls, and you should have asked Mr. Rowe, how do you deal with somebody, and you don't have to say like my father, but how to deal with somebody that's military, been in the military, and you know, and ugh, I hate this chair. And he keeps going over the same thing of like when he was a teenager, or when he was going in the military, or you know, the life that he was living then, and now he wants to live his life through you. How do you deal with that? Toxic person. How do you deal with a father that's toxic? most parents are. I feel sorry for teenagers nowadays. There's so many sick people that y'all have to deal with. So many. They never say, well, no, I shouldn't be pushing my kids to live like this. This is not normal. No, this is fine. I was sitting here trying to talk with Theodore because Daddy brought it up when he spoke with her on the phone that he wanted her to help him drive. I got the volume down. I got the light on because I need light. It's kind of dark in here. Now you come in here and turn my light on. I already gave you something to work with. A scenario. Scenario. Questions to ask Dr. Braun when you see her. How can you live with a toxic PTSD problem? How do you do it? What suggestions does she have?
Okay.
How do you say, no, I don't want to go? Most people would say, I'm busy. You know, I got other things that I want to do. And doing this with you will interfere with what I want to do with my life. But ask her, since she has the degree and she's been working with people with problems, what did she suggest? And she kept saying, your father he's military. I mean, you know, that's all he knows, okay? So, how do I deal with that? I can still see that dream I had. He had a light blue suit on, a jacket and pants, and I was following him, and when I looked down his back, down his legs, he had on combat boots. And I told my mom, I said, Mama, I had a dream about Ted, and all he had on a light blue suit, but the shoes didn't match. He had on combat boots. And she said, well, Mama, that's all he knows. That's his background. That's his foundation. Combat boots. I had to breathe on that. So you pray, ask God, Lord, show me what to do. Help me. And the best thing you need to do is to get in the Word of God, find some character, some person in the same situation. Ask God, tell me what to do. How do you work through this? Because only God can do it. And God may have to, talk to Daddy himself, like he did Abraham. Wide open spaces.
Okay.
But, like I was telling Thea, parents, they just, get married, have kids, and then don't know what God wants to do with them.
Yeah.
The angel told Samson's mother and father, God is sending this child to this earth for this reason.
In effect, Samson was supposed to have been the first Rambo, but he didn't do his job right. What?
I think when you get instructions from God as to why this child is coming to this earth, what God wants him to do, like Zachariah, was his name? John the Baptist's
Right.
father, and they told him,
Well,
he's going to be a prophet of God, and he's going to get people ready to receive Jesus. And
we're looking at the Bible, just the Bible alone. Those are the only two examples that I can outright say an angel of God or God himself said, I'm sending this child to do this thing. So this is the program. Stick to it. So shut up. What?
Sound like a
Binky.
Binky. I wrote this poem. This poem that I wrote.
So that's only two.
Well, yeah, but out of all the people on the earth, God just didn't send two people with instructions to the parents. This is how you raise this child. God has a plan for everybody.
No one's listening. Please do it. Okay.
They don't ask. They don't listen. And if he did tell them, they argue. I don't want to do that. Let somebody else do it. And so can you understand why God is always trying to get people's attention and trying to tell folks what he wants? Like not Beatles.
Soto.
Mr. Soto said he was going back to Genesis to ask to see what was God intended in the first place.
Yeah, I remember.
Because now people are just doing their own thing.
What they always?
Yeah, except for a few people that ask God, what does he want? And God spoke with Noah. There's my Bible movie.
I don't know.
And the voice was telling Noah, and he kept calling him, and he says, now this is what I want you to do. And Noah turned his head and said, this voice is talking to me. And fix the ark like this, and the angels are gonna come, the animals are gonna come 2 by 2. And so Noah got busy. He built the ark. He had his son help him. And a lot of people, they don't listen to God. If God speaks to them, now if the devil speaks to them, they'll listen to that. But if God speaks to them, they go, nah, that couldn't be God. They'll argue with God. So what I'm trying to do, and what God's children are supposed to be doing, God's people is supposed to be raising children to listen to the voice of God. So Hannah, she took Samuel back to the temple and left him, and God started speaking to Samuel.
All right.
And Eli had enough sense to say, oh, that wasn't me. You go back and lay down. And tell the voice that you're listening. God talks to people. He just don't put us down here on this earth and let us go for what we know. And if we listen to him, we'd have a way different life.
I was trying to ask Dr. Ron how do I deal with a military daddy who always wants to go to Georgia but will never help me with the stuff I'm saying I need help with. I mean, and when he goes to Georgia, it puts me farther behind.
Why is that?
Remember last year we went across the railroad tracks? Dad was asking about going to Georgia for Thanksgiving then.
And?
He just outright said no. I said, Dad, if you help me get started with my investment stuff, I'll consider going to Georgia with you for Thanksgiving. He ain't done anything. And it's been more than a year, really, since I gave him that challenge.
Well, I'm saying to you, Joshua, whenever I get this appointment with Dr. Braun, you be ready to say to her what you want her to work with you with. Toxic people. Fleetwood Mac singer Stevie Nicks. When I look at her, I see my 27-year-old. Y'all are stupid. Anyway, be ready. Because if you are not ready, you'll have this conversation. It'll go all the way somewhere, and then almost at the end of the conversation, oh, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. She said, well, it's too late now. I got somebody else I have to see.
Okay.
So be ready. Dr. Braun, this is what I want to talk to you about. Da 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 da. And she had said several times that last time we went, she kept saying, he's military. Yes, Joshua, yes, he's your father, but he's military. And I wanted her to go into detail. Okay, so what does that mean? How do I deal with it? Do I march around like I'm in the military? How do I deal with him? Wake him up and say, hey, look, you was in the military, but you're not in the military now. And I'm not expecting for you to be this military person. I need for you to be my father. And this is what I need from you. Now you can fuss at me and you can tell me I want to do this and then I have to do that. But you don't say that to daddy. And then you're getting screaming match. You should have seen that boy on TV today. And his father. What was his father? And this guy, he was a bus driver and he didn't want his son.
In the game.
Yeah, he wanted him to go straight up to the apartment upstairs, 2, 3 floors. And he kept staying down there on the floor and he saw a man get shot and he got into with bad gang guys and that other man tried his best to keep him out of the bad kids. What's that idiot talking about? A peach? He didn't go for the peach.
No, that's bananas, you dummy.
Monkeys love. You know what? I'll call the zoo. Beep, beep, beep. Hello? Hello?
He's talking on the bananas.
Yes, listen, the
That's
zoo,
what he
is this
is.
monkey zoo? Yes. What's that?
Yeah,
I'm being informed.
I'll see if I can start getting ready for I'm upset with her because I asked her son and she acted like she didn't want to pay attention. She didn't. And she even talked, and you even asked about Theodore. She didn't want to answer.
I don't understand white people. I don't know what they told her when she was going to college. But when people ask you what to do about their kid, you need to get on their level and tell them what to do. Or leave the conversation around so that they can figure out themselves what to do. Most people, when they ask you a question, they don't really want to know the answer.
Why
They
so?
don't. People stupid. They really are.
Okay.
If they tell you how to do something and you tell them how to do it, they go, oh no, that can't be like that. And then you say, well, what the hell you ask me for if you don't want to take my advice? Get out of here. People, I'm telling you the truth. They did Jesus the same way. And when he told them they went, nah, you couldn't have known that. Where'd you get that from? Here's the woman losing her teeth, falling out of plane.
We had a major debate about whether we could do that joke.
He's a mess.
Meanwhile, this year, Halloween pumpkins will be bigger than normal due to a wet summer. It's the inspiration for the new Cardi B single, Wet Ass Pumpkin. We'll be right back with Bob Odenkirk.
Want a smarter way to mop? Introducing
But you know, he called home. I'm looking at the TV. I see his cell number come up on, and I'm doing well. I'm just slowed down there. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I had a sandwich or whatever, and I tell him, "Be careful, Daddy, and say your prayers." And Theo was sitting over there on the sofa. What are you doing?
I'm listening.
And I'm telling her to get ready and be ready and practice while he's not here what you're going to say, because he's going to bring it up. Now, Daddy, why are you asking me to drive you? Don't you know I'm a nervous person and I don't like... No, he'll say, oh, that's your mama. She don't like going over bridges. Well, who does? He the one that ain't scared of nothing. You almost have to tell people, I'm not you. You're sitting over there. I'm sitting over here. You see, we're two different people. And when you like it. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. And you can't change my mind about that, you see.
So shut up! I'm sorry. Well, I'm
telling you. I told him this one. I said, yeah, I missed you snoring in my ear and spitting in my face and kicking me with your knee. Because that's what he did throughout the night. And when he didn't snore in my ear, when he was not snoring in my ear, he ain't in the bed. That's when I miss him. When he's not snoring. And when I turn over and I'm feeling in the bed, I say, oh, he ain't in the bed in the first place.
Supercalifragilistic. And don't stay up too late, Mom. When you stay up late, it keeps me
That's
up.
the only time that they play good stuff.
Mama, you stay up, it keeps me up.
They got Trump on. Oh, Jesus.
Mama.
Then he's trying to decide if he wants to be Speaker of the
Stop it.
House.
You stay up, trying to find something good to look at, it keeps me up.
They usually have SCIS and...
Well, don't say anything
Law and
about me
Order.
waking up in the morning, early in the morning, if you're going to be keeping me up.
Well, I'm trying to explain to you how you need to talk to Daddy.
Right.
He's a toxic person, and you will find other toxic people in this world who will come across your pathway. So, get ready.
All right, Dad, look. Now, when you want to go to Georgia, that's usually at the time where I need you to help me learn how to do something. Not to mention, I gave you a challenge last year that if you help me with my investment materials, I'd consider going to Georgia. You know what happened? We went to Georgia before we even got started with it. So no, I need to be staying at home doing these free classes on investing. I need you to start getting into these reports and buying into these reports so we can actually start money management before the shit hits the fan.
Before what?
The shit hits the fan.
Well, even if you don't start off like that, just bust in the conversation. How do I understand about this thing? And why do they do this like this? You know, instead of saying introducing it like a investment class. Just bust in there with your question.
Am I talking to Daddy or am I talking to somebody else?
You're talking to Daddy.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, Joshua, you're too nice. That's what Trump said about Pence. He's just too nice. Daddy, how about, well, what happens when the stock market goes up or goes down or whatever they're saying in the investment course? Start out with a question.
Okay.
Every time he comes up with this Georgia stuff, just it's like, what? How do you bake a cake? How do you scramble an egg? How do you heat up the oven? Just throw him off. Daddy, why do you like to go to Georgia so much?
Why don't you like going to
They
Georgia?
got that Fort Gordon there, and he said he did. I asked him, why didn't you go into the army? Why didn't you go into Fort Gordon? Oh, he said they had those guys out there running up the hill with backpack thing on your back. He thought that was harsh.
Yes.
So he went in the Air Force. So he made that decision. He made the decision to go into the Air Force instead of the Army.
Okay.
And after he finished with high school or something, he started working at the hospital, and he was changing bedpans, and he didn't like that. So he had to find him another job. And that's when he decided to go in the military. I think he was interested in the trains.
Okay.
But he didn't pursue that first. I can't talk.
You didn't go after it.
Right. So when you start something, you continue, you ask questions, you go around like they was telling you in your college class. College prep class.
Yeah.
You go out and you ask this person, why did you go into this business? And was it something that you like? And
Yeah.
But then you stay in that room and you on that computer. I don't know what you're doing, and your time is just going. Don't start with me.
You started it.
I started it. You're 33.
Mama.
I ain't started nothing.
Mama.
I ain't started nothing.
I'm calling you again.
To get you out of that
Okay.
room.
You want me to come out?
Joshua.
You want me to get out of the room? Okay. After this stuff with Easter seals, that pretty much destroyed that. I can't get through you enough. I'm trying to get you to see something. You don't want to.
I'm trying to get you to see Joshua. You're in the Easter Seals program. Go through the program. Don't worry about the silly girls. And you couldn't. It just stayed right there.
Okay. number one, before we even get into any of the other social aspects of it, number one with Easter seals, it took me away from college where I felt like I had a good chance at trying it again and actually succeeding at it. And don't be like that and say, well, you can take this and do this. No, I can't. It takes too much out of me to try anything social. Now, if I don't have anything social, I can handle 2, 3, 4, maybe even 6 projects at a time, as long as there's nothing social.
Well, I'm at the back end of this, and he always has somebody weird on.
I waved it around, the cat tried to swat it, the Lates and I laughed, that old cat never got it. I slept with it and sang to it, I kept it so close, my mother shook her head. That old lace, it's just gross. Perhaps I took it too far. When I insisted she kiss it. Now she's thrown it away. All my life I will miss it.
And there's a song, Shooter. We'll take a quick break, Mr. Odenkirk, but when we come back, we'll have more Bob Odenkirk. Stick around.
What is he, German?
Yeah. Good. So I said, if we could go through those people, difficult people, at home, discuss it at home, and then you go to Easter Seals and Mr. Rowe, discuss it there, then you would get like a double whammy, and it should be able to use it when you're on the job out with those toxic people. And it won't throw you. You have to stay focused on what you want to do. And it's hard for you to stay focused on what you want to do when you have these other toxic people that you have to deal with.
What I would like to do is make it for last time and not get bogged down with any more social anything. Because one thing I've learned throughout my teenage and young adult years is don't go social. You end up wasting a lot of time and money.
Don't think of it like this, Joshua. We are on this earth, and all we have to work with are social people. So what you need to do, and what I was trying to get you to do, is focus on working with the different kinds of people. People. Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
For example, and we were reading the other night about the deceiver. They will lie. You'll catch them in a lie. And if they lie one time, they're going to have to lie again.
Yeah, like,
And so you stay focused with what you're doing. You understand, oh, that's a deceiving person. And I'm not going to get bogged down with this deceiving person because they're going to lie one way or another. Understand that. Don't get bogged down. Don't get sideswiped. Don't get those kinds of people because they exist and they will run across your space. You will run into it. And you can look at Jesus and see the different personalities he ran across, how he dealt with them. Some of them he talked to, and some of them he just blew them off, didn't have time.
Okay.
Because they were trying to make him look bad. They was asking him questions to see if
They could trip him up.
yeah, make him look bad in front of the multitude of people.
Where did you get your authority from? Well, where did you get your authority from? We don't have an answer. Well, I won't answer you either.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried asking Daddy a couple of questions, trying to get a ball rolling so he would do something in my favor, and he usually turns it around on me. I don't like doing questions with Dad.
But you have to stay on your track.
Oh my God!
What was that? I didn't see nothing. It's a flying. We didn't leave the door open much, so we must be in here from now. When you see something flying, you have to think, you said, oh, that's a moth.
Yeah, but that was enough. But this sounds like. I don't think moths make that sound.
There's a spray. Can't spray in it.
Ooh.
And don't spray me in the face.
It's low.
Well, that's why I had a light up, so I could see.
I don't like that one.
Now, we have taken the conversation. I tried to talk with Theodora. And she's wondering, well, how did I get into this? Who did what? And it's just life, baby. Don't spray my milk. I got some pills I need to take. He went somewhere, so there's no telling where he is. Old buzzard. And he asked the other day, he said, what church you going to... What are you talking about?
What he's
We've already gone to church. And I went to church up the road here. Because it's close to the house. And I don't have to run through a lot of traffic. And, you know, people are people. They're going to be people. Anywhere you go, they're going to always be toxic. In church or out of church. And what I learned from Refuge, they're jealous. They want the gift that God gave you. And it's just, you know, I'd rather just go in there and pray and leave. Go in there and pay my offering and leave.
okay.
But, you know, he sees church as a... well, the
Social
kids just-
gathering.
Huh?
Social gathering.
Yeah, he said, well, the kids are just here and they're only listening to you. And so? What does that mean?
Mama.
Well, he wants y'all to listen to somebody else?
Mama. Daddy doesn't understand the idea of able-bodied young people hanging in the house all the time. He thinks that we should have a social life and that we should be having some conventional jobs.
Well, y'all were going to bowling. You was going to, what's it? That big old church way over there. The big old conglomerate.
The summit
Yeah, the summit.
and then CBC.
CBC. And I'm telling you, they're all full of toxic people.
Yeah.
And as parents, we're supposed to try to cover our kids or get our kids ready for these toxic people. It's very out there and all and swearing for what they know, and you ain't caught them deadly. You wouldn't throw kids out in a swimming pool and tell them to kick. You teach them how to breathe and hold their nose and how to pedal their legs and their feet, and you would. Or if you don't, then you're not a teacher. And a lot of parents ain't teachers. They don't know one thing from how to be a teacher. And when their kid fall in a hole, and then here they come, well, I never did want you to get in trouble, but you didn't teach them nothing either. He's too, oh Lord.
You're too busy going to Georgia.
Yeah, and looking at sports and stuff.
Well, look, like I've said to you before, you should pay attention to the kid and what the kid is showing you, and then work with it from that. John Hagee talked about that. The dad wanted his son to be a football player. He was too scrawny, and more importantly, had no interest or drive in it. Now, if he had the interest and drive, he could work on the scrawniness and build up some muscle, or at least be the fast runner. But he had no interest.
So how do you break that down and talk to your father? It's backward. Instead of the father getting the son ready, the son has to get the father ready.
I don't know how to talk to Daddy. From what I can see, Dad wants me to do the conventional material.
You see this book, Daddy? This book about 10 things a kid with autism want you to know. Did you ever read this book? No, he didn't read the book. So you read it. And you talk to him about what you read.
All right.
You have to turn it backward. The Bible doesn't tell us how David's father trained. He just told him go out there and watch the sheep. And when it come time to shear the sheep, he didn't tell Father David about nothing. David was out there by himself.
Probably because David was too different from the other sons that Jesse had.
What?
I think probably because David was too different from the other sons that Jesse had. I mean, look at what the Bible says when Jesse brought his big, strong sons.
You're funny.
Now, even though, according to what Michael Rood says, that David was a big man himself at that time, I would say that David had the personality of Jacob, while the other sons had Esau.
You got something to say, Mama? That's just doing all the talking.
I was kind of wondering, what were you asking Dr. Braun about that she didn't want to answer or wasn't paying attention to? As I was also listening to the Bible lesson at this point, and at some point I'd like to go to bed, like just for the night.
Okay, dear. And we're trying to have a conversation. And I started off with you, and when I got Joshua into it, he takes over the conversation. And but you was asking, how did you get into this? Or how do you get out of it? Or something you were saying.
Yeah, how did any of this happen, and how, yeah, how do I get out? Well, I really wanted to ask, like, what am I for? Like, what did God do any of this for? Like, put any of us together, put any of us on this earth? Why? Why is anything?
Yeah, that family. I bought. It was a plaque at the Christian bookstore about family, and it had, I think, about 10 different reasons for family and Bible verses to go with it. And I Xeroxed it, and I taped it up on that bookshelf in the kitchen, the cupboard. We need a copy of that, don't we?
Yeah.
So we can understand what family is for, why God created family, and